everyone and welcome to my channel. I hope that you are all good. In today's video we have December 2nd of the Charlie's Nail Art Advent Calendar and I'm really excited to share this one with you. Although it's only a day 2, I'm really loving this Advent Calendar, and last time I see she did still have some of these available to purchase on the website, so if you're looking to get yourself one there might be a couple still available. If not, then each item is released daily on the website, which I do always leave linked in the description box below, along with the discount code that I have for Charlie's. So for December 2nd we have a gorgeous fine holographic glitter mix in the colour turquoise, and as you can see through the bag it has such a beautiful holographic sparkle. But I am just going to decant it into a little pot so you guys can see it all a little bit better, as this is what I do with all of my glitter mixes anyway. As you can see, it's an absolutely beautiful turquoise colour, and because it's a fine glitter mix you're able to use this very easily with gel polish as well as acrylic or builder gel, whichever system it is that you use. I just want to take a moment to apologise for any noise in the background. I currently have my little puppy next to me and he's very annoying at the moment. So anyway, I'm going to use this glitter in a gel polish design today. So I'm coming in with my Kiki London coconut and I'm just going to pop one layer of this down. When I first popped this colour down, I wasn't 100% sure what I was going to be doing on this design. I kind of just winged it, but I changed my mind to do a full glitter nail because I really wanted you guys to see how pretty this glitter is. So you're not going to see any of this coconut underneath the glitter. And ideally I would usually use a colour that matches the glitter, but I was going to do a glitter fade to begin with, so that was why I went with the white. But anyway, I've popped one coat of coconut down and I'm going to cure that for 30 seconds. Then this is where I decided actually I'm going to do a full glitter nail. So I come in with my Kiki London base coat. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop a thin layer of this base coat down to the entire nail. So I'm just going over it a few times just to make sure I get a nice, smooth, even surface. And then I'm not going to cure this base coat yet. I'm going to leave it wet and I'm going to sprinkle or sugar my glitter onto the top of it so that we get a full-on sparkly, glittery nail. I've popped that glitter tray underneath just to catch any of that excess glitter because you don't really want to be wasting it. And then I'm literally going to just sprinkle this into that wet base coat until I've covered the entire nail. So you can leave this sugared if you wanted to. If you wanted to leave it sugared, so have this rough glittery surface, then you would need to sugar it over a top coat rather than a base coat, because the base coat is going to leave a bit of a tacky layer. So I'm just going to tap off any of that excess, and as you can see it's left a super sparkly nail. I love this colour as well. Turquoise and teals are one of my favourite colours and I thought this one was absolutely beautiful. So I've then popped that into cure for 60 seconds. So that has cured all of that glitter into place. And then I'm just going to brush off any of the excess. You want to be a little bit rough and you want to use quite a fluffy brush to do this because you want to make sure that you remove as much of those excess glitter particles as possible. Then I'm going to take a top coat. Now, because we're going directly over the glitter, my first layer of top coat, I usually just use an old top coat or one that I've got saved for glitter, just because you are going to get a few sparkly particles on that brush and then you're going to contaminate that bottle of top coat. So I'm coming in and I'm going to do 2 layers, but I'm going to do 1 layer with just my old top coat just to seal that glitter in. As you can see, it looks a little bit rough and uneven, and that's why we're going to be doing the 2 layers of top coat. So we've got a nice smooth surface as we are going to be stamping on top of this design. But I am just brushing over that now as much as possible just to get a smooth surface as I possibly can. Just coming over it just to make sure that it's covering all of that glitter, if that makes sense. You don't want to have any gaps and you want it to be as smooth as you can get it. Bearing in mind we are only using a gel polish top coat, so it's not super thick. Then after I've cured that for 60 seconds, I'm going to come in with my Kiki London No Wipe Rubber Top Coat. So this is the main layer of top coat for me for this design. I would have just used this top coat straight away if it wasn't for getting those glitter particles in the bottle. So I'm then going to come in with that layer of rubber top coat. Now, because it's a rubber top coat, it's that little bit thicker, so it's perfect for encapsulating your nail art and getting a super smooth surface. Now, I work with it a little bit like I would a builder gel, so I do move it over the nail a few times with the brush, but it does self-level after a few seconds by itself. I just like to help it along the way. If you do find that your top coat isn't self-leveling, or you're using a brand that maybe is a little bit thicker, you can hold the nail upside down for a few seconds to help pull the gel polish into the center. I'm just checking from all angles that that's nice and smooth, and just look at the shine it gives off. I then pop that in to cure for 60 seconds, and this is what that glitter looks like if you was to just have a full glitter nail. But I'm going to do some stamping over the top. So I'm not 100% sure where this particular stamping plate is from. It doesn't say on the plate either, which is annoying. But I'm also going to be using that plate with this one here, which is from Nicole Diary. And I'm loving all these little cute Christmassy images. On this one, I wanted to go for a bit of a snowy winter design because I felt like that would go better with the turquoise glitter. Now, to start off with, I always give my stamping plates a clean with acetone before using them, just to make sure any of the stamping polish I would have used on them previously is completely removed. Then I'm going to take my Nicole Diary white stamping polish, and I'm going to just be using this snowy icicle design that's up the top here. So I have applied a generous amount of stamping polish because it's quite a deep image. And as you can see, it's picked up quite well. But I'm then going to use my lint roller just to remove any of that image I don't want. So just the messy little bits around the edges. And then I wanted to take this bit off here because it's not going to be needed. We're not going to be using that much of the design. Once I'm happy with how much I've got removed, we're going to place this down onto the nail. So as you can see, when you're using a clear jelly stamper, you're able to easily look through your stamper and see where you're placing it. So once I've got it in position, I'm just going to press firmly down, wriggle from side to side, and then lift up, and it's stamped on absolutely beautifully. Now, you could leave this design as it is because it does look quite pretty, but I'm going to be adding on a little snowman. So I'm going to, before applying my snowman, I'm going to use that same design, but rather than applying the whole image, I just want to use a tiny bit of it to create some snow at the bottom. So as you see, again, I applied a generous amount of stamping polish, scraped, and then I gently roll my stamper across that image. Then I'm just going to remove some of this using my lint roller because this end here is what I want to be the top part of my snow. So we're not actually going to be stamping on much of this design. I just decided to remove some of that excess and get this line here as neat as I could because that's what's going to be our snow basically. Then we're going to stamp this down at the very tip of the nail. So I'm lining it up, I'm going to press down, and now it didn't stamp 100%. I missed a little gap at the bottom, and then it did pull up a little bit. So I'm just tapping that down. Now, if I was doing this on a client, I probably would rub this off and redo it, but because it's a display tip, we just worked with it. And it looks okay. It looks like snow realistically, so it's okay. Now we're going to stamp on the little snowman from the Nicole Diary stamping plate. So again, when I apply my stamping polish and any images, to be honest, I apply quite a lot of stamping polish. I find it works better if you apply a little bit more than what you think you need. Then I scrape off the excess. Again, clean off any bits that you don't want on the nail. I find it easier to clean off the excess from the rubber head or the stamping head rather than having to clean them off from the nail because it's really easy to clean them off using the lint roller. And then I'm just gonna press down. I always press straight down and then do a little rock from side to side or up and down before pulling my stamper off. And then as you can see, that image has transferred beautifully. It is a little bit of an intricate image, so it is a little bit hard to see in pictures, but I think you can see it quite well here in the video. So we're now ready to come in and top coat. I'm going to be using my Kiki London top coat. Now this is the top coat that does leave a tacky layer, so you do need to wipe off that tacky inhibition layer. Now I do usually prefer my no wipe top coats, but I find this top coat to be the absolute best over stamping, especially when you're working on large stamped areas like the snow here. It just doesn't give you any separating or pitting. It cures absolutely beautifully as well. And as you can see, it has a beautiful shine to it as well. I absolutely love it. So that is the end of today's video. I really hope you all enjoyed this design. Please do check in tomorrow for day 3 of the Charlie's Nala Advent Calendar. Thank you all so much for watching and lots of love. Bye bye.